So, I watched this movie and I wanted to do a review on it because I feel like it's a movie that was always meant to be talked about. And, sorry, my hair, I just dyed it black and I don't know. I'm still deciding if I like it. But, anyways, so it's a movie that was always meant to be talked about. And I think it was a movie that the directors and everyone that played a part in it really wanted this to be a movie that was definitely talked about and brought up in, conversations, because nowadays, we're such a world that's put on technology that we almost, there's dating sites where like you meet people through the internet and stuff. And I don't think, sometimes I even think adults aren't really smart to do that. you know, um, some websites, they have pictures and they do all this stuff, but you can always make fake profiles. So I don't know. I don't trust the internet. I don't even trust Facebook. When someone I don't know adds me on Facebook, I like get in their shit and I like read it and I see how many friends we have in common, blah blah blah. But anyways, so it's about a young girl. Her name's Megan, and it's about her best friend and her, basically, Amy. It's kind of about their lives. Um, Megan is kind of the party girl. You know, there's a scene where she's giving a blowjob to a certain man, and there's scenes where she talks about her sexual escapades with her friend Amy, who's, I don't even think Amy's really ever even kissed anyone. And Amy's kind of the outcast. Nerd doesn't have a lot of friends, but Amy is best friends with Megan. She loves Megan with all her heart. Megan's, her best friend. And they're such contrasting characters that they almost bring out the best in each other. And I know that sounds kind of weird. How can you get best from a girl who literally the whole entire movie is talking about having sex, doing drugs? How can you find a positive in that? But I think she was just a lost girl. I think she was very lost. But anyways, so her friend, one of her crazy ass friends, I don't remember her crazy ass friend's name, who is madly in love with her for some reason, says that she started talking to this guy Josh online, and that he's really cute, blah 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 freaking blah. And it starts out, where Megan video chats with him and everything, and he's like, "Oh, you're so beautiful, blah blah blah." Like, my camera broke. My brother broke it, and then the guy was like, "Oh, I thought your um, sorry, I had to close that. I thought your dog broke it or something." And I mean, from the beginning, I thought it was really creepy. Like, this kid's supposedly 17 years old. Like, your webcam just doesn't break. And if it does break, you don't get on and chat with people. And I mean, he's voice chatting with her. So, I mean, you at least know that he has a mic. So, whatever. But then she talks about how she's going to this party, and he says that, he'll meet her there. And she gets all dressed up and fancied. And she gets home and, she calls her friend Amy, and she's like, "He didn't even fucking show up, blah, blah, blah. He stood me up. I waited for him for 4 hours." And she gets on the chat with the guy, and he's like, "I was there. I was just too shy to come up and talk to you." And he's like, "I watched you," and like explained what she was wearing. And I would have been completely freaked out. Like, you watched me for 4 hours, and I walked around that whole entire party, and I never saw you, but you saw me, and you didn't say anything to me. Yeah, you're creepy. So she goes over to her friend's Amy's house the next day, and she's hanging out with her. And she's like, "Oh, they call him Josh. Me and this guy Josh are gonna go and get some ice cream together. And we're meeting behind the diner, blah, blah, blah." Well, on the security cam, it shows this girl, this 14-year-old girl, being dragged away by this man who is definitely not a 17-year-old blonde surfer boy. And, it's like problems. It's just really obvious that, oh, now things are bad. So she goes missing, and Megan goes missing, and all of Megan's friends that party with her and do all the stuff start blaming Amy. And this one girl was like threatening to beat her up. She's like, it's all your fault, blah, blah. And I was like, bitch, you introduced her to this guy, so really you should shut your mouth. And the last 22 minutes of the movie, because Amy tells the police officers that are looking for her, that are looking for Megan, that she was talking to this guy Josh online. And this guy Josh gets on a chat with Amy and kind of tells Amy, like, mind your own business. Like, you had no right. I didn't break any laws by creating a username and talking to her. I don't know what happened to her. You're just jealous because you're ugly and I liked her and I didn't like you. And blah, blah, freaking blah. And one day, Amy's at the park and some guy just comes up and grabs her. And the last 22 minutes of the movie are the most disturbing moments. Like, they will be burned in my mind for, like, the rest of my life. Because the beginning of the movie is set up like Paranormal Activity. It's supposed to look like it's real. And, like, there are these voice chats and stuff. And it's just kind of boring. And then you get to the last 22 minutes of the movie, and it's, like, completely freaky. Like, I look over my shoulder all the time now. And I'm always, like, watching what I'm saying to people. And I went through all my Facebook friends and, like, you know, went through and, like, found people that I was like, I don't fucking know you, delete, delete, delete. And it just kind of brings a very, like, it opens your eyes to stuff out there. Like, this guy is disgusting. It'll show you two pictures. The first one freaked me out so bad I closed my eyes, so I don't know what the next one looked like. But I know it shows you two pictures because I was watching it with my boyfriend, and my boyfriend was, describing me the pictures. Basically, this guy is, like, into, like, the kind of stuff where, like, you tie a woman up, all of their nasty shit, and he put metal hooks on her cheeks and on her nose, so the first picture you see, she's like, and it's just really creepy, because I'm thinking about the picture right now, and it's just really creepy. It kind of looks like he cut her head off in the first one, but he obviously didn't. He had her in, like, one of those things where your hands are out, and, like, your head's through it. It was just really creepy. And, like, when he kidnapped Amy, he put Amy in her bra and underwear. There's a rape scene where he rapes Amy. And he put, like, a dog collar or, like, a metal collar around her neck and, like, chained her to a wall and kept her, like, in a dungeon cell. It was really creepy. And the last 22 minutes of the movie are, like, people are like, oh, it's so boring because all you do is watch the guy dig and, like, watch him go and, like, feed her and yell at her. And I was like, yeah, but they're trying to, like, make you see that this isn't a joke. Like, this stuff like this happens all the time. People go out and they meet people that they don't know and they don't come home. And anyway, so then, like, he opens a barrel and, I mean, I wouldn't suggest watching this movie unless you want to see why you should not talk to people on the internet that you don't know. But if you watch the movie, you'll see what's in that barrel. And I will never be able to get that part of the movie out of my brain. It'll be stuck in my head. I'll be fearful. I'll be scared every single day of barrels for the rest of my life. I just will be. But he does dig, like, a really big hole in the middle of fucking nowhere. And he trashes the video camera that she was using to make her video diary. He trashes the camera in the trash can at the park where he kidnapped her, where she was last seen, so that the police officers could see the video and see what he had done. The sick part about all this is that I thought, like, okay, there's some sick director who probably dreams about actually doing this to girls at night. And that's why he wrote this movie. And actually, he would work with police officers. Oh, that got really bright. He would work with police officers on cases about, like, children going missing. And this was actually a case that he wrote the movie based off of, was a case. There was a case that he had seen about a 9-year-old little girl. People, I don't think parents understand nowadays that you really have to teach your child. Like, you cannot go and talk to people that you don't know on the internet. I've done it. And, thank God above that nothing's ever happened to me. You just shouldn't do stuff like that. But the movie really makes you think. But it kind of has me scared at everything. And my boyfriend kind of thinks it's funny, and he'll tease me and make, like, face at me and stuff, and it's just, he's mean. But, it's just a movie that I think will always stick with someone, and a lot of people are like, oh, it scared the shit out of me, and it'll haunt me. And I'm like, well, no, it won't haunt you. You know, hopefully you'll remember the movie when you're older, and you'll sit down and you'll talk to your kids. It's definitely a movie that I wanted to download off the internet and keep and show to my child. Yeah, it'll scare them. It'll scare them, and it'll make them freak out. But I don't think they'll ever talk to anyone on the internet. Yeah, so that's my review about the movie, and that's how I feel about the movie. So now I gotta go. Bye.